Yes, guys, have fun and welcome back. Chelsea won, Arsenal won. Salam. Thoughts on the game? I don't know. What are your thoughts on this game? Let's just dive in straight.
Yeah, Alpha now, my people. Well, it's an interesting weekend. Okay, let's start with quickly with our game. Well, uh, we've got to take we've got to take positives from the game. Look at it from what are the good things today, and what are the things we could improve on. Firstly, we got Martin Odegaard back, and we saw exactly what it means for someone to be a marquee player and what influence, losing, what influence he has on the game today. The assist was so brilliant, and also we've had, of course, a bad run of game in the last 4 or 5 games, but you could see today that it was completely different. Unfortunately, regardless of how good we played today relatively, and that we didn't lose, the draw would have been more positive if we've not put ourselves in terrible position prior to this game. Losing at Bournemouth and only managing a draw 3 games before this, so it makes the draw slightly underwhelming. But I think it's good performance. We see what we can do when we've got the full complement of players out, and Merino came in. I think it was a bit sluggish, but overall played very well, controlled the ball well, moved the ball well. I had a decent chance as well. I think it's coming up to speed as well. I think it was a very tactical game. Big ups to Maresca and Ateta. I think they negate themselves. I think I believe both teams wanted to win, but they were more concerned about not losing. I think the 1-1 was a fair result. We go into the international break, and we come back rejuvenated, and hopefully we can rekindle our buzz to winning games. On the negatives, unfortunate, of course, we didn't get the win, and also I'm a bit concerned about Saka and Rice. Ateta said the injury doesn't look well, but I think it's just all mind games, seeing if he can curtail them from going to the international break.
Well, where do I begin? I'll just say, in the grand scheme of things, if on a normal day, like you said, if we go to Stamford Bridge 1-1, okay, no problems. But in the grand scheme of things and where we've put ourselves, like you said, this is not 1 point gained. This is 2 points dropped from an Arsenal perspective. Now, I am of the opinion that there has to be an inquest at Arsenal.
For what?
Now, let's look at it, Salam. If we sit down here and say we do not have a depleted squad, the inquest I'm talking about is how do we move from a team that was challenging for the title a season before, and then what do we go to do? We go on. I'm going to sound like a broken record now. We'll go on to move on at least 4 attacking players and brought in nada, because I don't even count Sterling. So that is why I say there has to be an inquest. What was the thinking behind our summer signings? How do we move from this is going to go for too long, but I just feel there should be an inquest at Arsenal. Right now, I would have been thinking that, okay, last season, these are the things that went wrong. Kai Havertz, I don't have a problem with the boy. He puts a proper shift when he's called upon. But Kai Havertz is the kind of player that you take off the pitch 60 minutes, 70 minutes. You can tell the brother he's tired. I don't want to say his legs are gone, but he's tired. Last season, we had Eddie to come in. Eddie is not the quality of player we need. Fair enough. What have we done? Nothing. Now, I'm looking at Bukayo Saka. Let us say anything happens and Bukayo is out for a long time. We will now go back to, we don't have Bukayo. Pedro Neto is a guy we've looked at him for God knows for the longest. We saw him balling for Chelsea today. Look, when I say there needs to be an inquest, I don't even know. I don't. Ateta has gone to Stamford Bridge, three wins, 3 draws. He has not lost at He's not lost at Stamford Bridge. Fair enough to him. We are sitting 10 points behind Liverpool.
9.
Is it 9? Okay. See, in my mind, this is a defeat. So we are 9 points behind Liverpool. If we do not make these 6 points before it gets to 12 points,
like Messi said,
it's done. It's over. In terms of the positives, obviously, like you said, Martin Odegaard being back. But let's face it, Odegaard is.
He still needs time.
Yeah, he
as I
needs
said
time.
the
I
last
understand everything he done today. I big him up. Even FPL, if you're an FPL man, you know that they gave him an extra point for his performance today. But me and you know that watching him today, there are certain things we know that Odegaard will do better when he comes up to speed. But I like the fact that when he comes in, he galvanizes that midfield. I was happy to see Rice play. Partey again, had a decent game. This is also a problem that we made summer signings that cannot come. Merino cannot break in. Do you know that this is our strongest midfield? Partey, Odegaard, and Rice. Yeah. So how do you want to strengthen? You go and sign somebody in the summer that cannot threaten and break into your squad. It doesn't make sense if you want to go ahead to win the league.
Yeah, and that's
if you look at Calafiori, you might argue, Calafiori is the one that can break in. Let us be honest. If we have our full.
I think you start those.
You want to start Timber ahead of Calafiori because Ben White on his own. I don't think. Okay, if we play Timber right back, fair enough, he might do better than Ben White. Maybe. But what Calafiori will do at left back.
You can argue for both.
You can argue for both. So it's not a straight.
Exactly.
It's not a straight.
I get.
So if you're a squad that wants to go ahead to win a title, you have to strengthen. When Pep does his stuff, he handpicks Haaland. When it's time, I don't know what Arteta feels, whether he thinks I've landed. Bro, you haven't. First of all, Maresca, this is his first season in the league. There's always this thing of first timer. You are Mikel. You've been here for 5 years. You should have your way about doing these things. This is underwhelming. The only positive from this game is the return of Martin Odegaard. I can't see nothing else. If you let me, I'll tell Jurgen Timber to even go and play as a striker for me. Because that guy plays football. He's just, that one is a baller. So, Jurgen Timber and Odegaard are the only positives I take from this game. Every other thing, nothing.
It's just a couple of weeks to January. Can you bet your money that Arsenal will get anyone in January?
That's another question.
No, so you understand? To be honest, so that is it's unfortunate, but that's the life of an Arsenal fan. I think we shouldn't be too frustrated. Let's be optimistic.
Nah, see, we are just here like psychiatric patients. Every time what someone they say,
somebody's supposed to clip down.
Dating an Arsenal fan is like dating a psychiatric, but. At the end of the day, I don't think
next season, like ever
next season, next season. I don't think going this international break has whether it doesn't. I don't think it's come at the right time for us.
Well,
after a defeat like this, you just want to go again and correct it. Oh, it feels like a defeat.
Well,
after a game like this, you want to go again. You want to keep on going, but the international break is the international break.
The interesting thing is that. The interesting thing is when we were back from the international, we were playing Forest, who will, of course, they lost today, but they will be filled with confidence. They're on the same 19 points, I believe. There are 4 of us on 19 points. We're back in top 4 points behind City, 9 points behind the league leader. So
it's not the end of the world. But anyway, Salam,
easy run. Yeah.
Just final thoughts before we head out, man.
Yeah. So final thoughts. I hope we can keep our boys fit. I hope we're back. I hope the teams reflect. It's a very good international break for us as far as I'm concerned. We've had a very terrible run. And I'm glad some of those key players won't be going for international break. They have time to train together, to reflect and all of that. And I hope one of Saka or Rice or both of them with today's Nigo will be spared of the international break and they could get a rest and we come back. And remember when we went to Dubai, was it last season? And we came back and we turned the corner. So I feel it could still happen. I feel I'm not even looking at the league, to be honest, at this point. I want us just to do well and close the gap first, then we can start reasoning things. But we need to come back rejuvenated and start winning games.
Anyways, final thoughts. It's I won't fault the boys for lack of performance. We put in a good shift today. Finally, Leonardo Trossard and Martinelli have not started the same game, and we saw the difference. Martinelli is a different.
Trossard came in and played well.
Yeah, Trossard is a totally different player from Martinelli. He provides you something different. So I don't know if maybe Mikel had done something different all along, we'll never know what the story would have been.
We
But
don't. We don't.
here we are.
We don't have the capacity.
Chelsea won. Arsenal won. We know the story.
Relatively underwhelming.
I just hope it's not a matter of Netflix, because it can't be next season. It has to be this one, because Pep has actually said, "Look,
someone else should win."
I don't know if it's mind games, but deep down he knows it's going to be difficult. But yes, thank you guys so much, man. These are trying times again.
Yeah.
Trying times again at the Arsenal.
Yeah.
But we'll be back.
Yeah, see you after the international break.